Hi, I'm Stephen Adams and welcome to a special Dealmakers edition of Optimum TV, where we talk to the movers and shakers in the life science industry, those who invest in the companies and obviously make things happen. Today I'm joined by Roel Bulthuis, Managing Partner at Syncona, where he heads the investment team. So hi, Roel.
Good morning, Stephen. Thank you for that introduction.
Not at all. Thanks for joining us. So let's kick off. Tell us about Syncona. What does it invest in and what's its investment approach?
Sure. Yeah. Thanks for the opportunity to speak about that. We're a London Stock Exchange listed investment trust focused on the healthcare sector. I've been around for about 12 years now. Can invest in healthcare broadly, but very much focus on healthcare therapeutics. That's where we believe we add the most value. And our model is primarily to build companies together with ambitious scientific founders. So most of our founder scientists are academics. Sometimes there are people from industry, and we work with them to translate their scientific insights into product. And for us, that means that you fund companies early on with ambition. So really making sure that you interrogate the science to get to product definition, but also that you have the scale of capital to help build those companies long term. We believe that successfully developing products in healthcare requires you to have a scale of capital that can take science all the way through to late stage clinical to really prove your product. And so we've built a model that allows us the time, the scope, but also the scale of capital to be able to do that.
Okay, sounds like you're there for the long-term companies. But let's talk a little bit about the state of the market in 2025, which has been quite a roller coaster year so far, and we're only now in spring. What's your take on the market, and do you have any predictions?
Yeah, that's the scary question, and we don't do crystal balls here. I don't think I'll be able to tell you a lot more than other people would say, but I think we're very aware of the fact that at many different levels our industry faces significant uncertainty, and that's at the level of basic science. Unfortunately, it's at a regulatory level, a commercial level, and then as we spend a lot of time talking about financial markets and especially equity capital markets. But I wouldn't underestimate private capital markets long term, given the market environment that we had in the last couple of years. There is uncertainty there. The one thing that hasn't changed is fundamentally the value proposition of our industry. There is an opportunity and a significant need to develop the products that we're developing. And so if you can mitigate market uncertainty, or if you can insulate to some extent yourself from that environment, I think you're in a good place.
Okay, so does the state of the market influence Syncona's approach, or are you totally market agnostic?
So we get impacted by markets, but we don't run an investment model that responds to market environment. If you think about a healthcare asset, and especially a therapeutic, it's a 10 to 12 years, realistically sometimes 15-year game. And you can only we believe that you can only make those investments if you fundamentally believe in the premise of the science that you're investing in, and the premise of the translation of that science to a therapeutic, to a clinically and commercially relevant asset. We try to finance and build our companies with optionality. And that means that we try to build models where we have control of destiny to develop our products with access to capital, whether it's through private or public equity markets, and in some cases through strategic transactions. But we would never make investments that make us dependent on a single source of capital or a single outcome, or worst case scenario, make us a forced seller. So it doesn't change what we do and how we do it. It does change, or it does impact us in terms of how we think about the syndicates that we build, the co-investors that we take on board, and so especially the sources of capital that we see as relevant for our companies.
Okay, and so what's the recipe of your success? And you've outlined it there in a reasonable amount of detail, but there are only one or two things that you'd say this is what we really concentrate on.
Yeah, every company is different. The fundamental foundation under every single company that we build is that they're built around a piece of scientific insight that is unique and unique in its ability to translate to a product that has a significant impact on the patient journey and that has a significant commercial value proposition. When you're able to validate that thesis and when you're able to show the clinical data that validate that value proposition, you're in a good place to have strategic discussions with pharma. If you look at our historical realizations or exits, all of them are amongst the largest transactions and largest returns that you will see for healthcare venture in Europe, and I would say globally. So that making sure that you have a unique level of differentiation in your product and you have the ability to own that up to the point that pharma wants to buy it, I think is a validated premise by now.
Okay. I know you personally put a huge premium on people and making sure that the right people are in the company and they create a team which works and works well together. How easy is it to find those people? What's the availability of talent like for the companies that you invest in?
Yeah, I think it's a really important question for our industry. It's one that we often underestimate. It's the hardest part of investing. It's the hardest part of company building, finding the right people, and fundamentally it's not just finding individuals, but building teams that allow you to build companies, finding people that have the ambition and the flexibility to grow with the company while it develops. So all of those things together are a big part of what we do. I like what we see in the market right now. I think and this is a positive market environment, so we should make sure that it's not all doom and gloom. The European venture market and European biotech market has matured so much and so fast over the last, I would say, 5, 6, 7 years. Because of the availability of capital and because of the way that we're funding companies, we are very competitive right now with US companies that are in the market for talent. And that's a big pull for senior executives that have the ambition to really grow companies. So there's access to talent. Unfortunately, some of the uncertainty in scientific and regulatory and commercial environments increases that pull right now towards executives that would otherwise be based in the US. But I think fundamentally the European sector is so much stronger now. And so we're in a really good position to get the right people on board to build our companies.
That's super. Roel Bulthuis of Syncona, thanks very much indeed for your thoughts.
Thank you. It was a pleasure.
Are you watching Optimum TV? In our bite-sized episodes, we talk to European life science leaders about the hottest trends, innovations and capital market developments in the sector. To subscribe, visit @OptimumComms on YouTube. You can also watch all available episodes on our website, optimumcomms.com.